Can you read me?
Yeah, so your father's definitely here. When I'm connecting, he's very strong around you when I'm
Uh-huh.
speaking to him. And this was a man when I'm connecting with him. He actually, I keep feeling all of this tightness in my chest when I'm speaking to him. And he tells me that he was having all issues in through here.
Uh-huh.
And specifically, there's also issues over circulation with him. Remember the circulation issues? Because he's bringing that up. And he
Okay.
also says to me that one of the things that he wants you to know is that he can now move freely on the other side because he tells me there was issues with walking or being able to move towards the end with his departure. He says, and can I please let my daughter know? He says that I am free from this, and more importantly, that I can now move because this was the hardest thing that your dad was dealing with. And he just said to me that he fell. There was a fall that had happened.
I mean, there were kind of several falls. Towards the end of his life, he was an athlete, so he always had like, the replaced knees and the replaced shoulders. But then towards the end, I remember he said, they think I'll never really walk again. I'll be in this wheelchair because he had fought some other things.
That's what it is. Because he's
Yeah.
saying to me when I'm connecting with him, he says, I need to let her know I can walk, I can move. Because it was also circulation issues that were causing him issues. Because he says to me,
Yes.
like,
He had
he's going,
neuropathy.
he's going like this
Yeah.
to me. He says he couldn't feel his legs.
Yes, neuropathy gets a lot worse as time goes on, and it's like a numbing feeling of your feet and your legs, and, yeah, that's very interesting because I remember I said, "So what? So what if you never walk again? So what if you're in a
But that was your
wheelchair?"
dad's, you got to
Yeah,
know that was your dad's livelihood. And he
yeah,
says to me that I'm going to be honest in what he tells me. He says that when he found out he couldn't walk, it's almost like he lost the will to live because he says to me, I felt like I couldn't have my life back. He says, I felt everything that I loved and everything that I cared about. He says, I felt just washed away because I couldn't partake in things anymore. And your
mhm.
dad wants to thank you for the way that you tried to keep him involved in family events, family get togethers, and the way that you would always include him. He says, but I felt so helpless. And your dad was so strong and he didn't want other people taking care of him here in this world. He's also telling me happy birthday. Whose birthday is it?
Um, my gosh, where are we? April? It's like the days
April.
mixed together. Well, this month, coming this month, my niece, it's Haley's, was my niece Haley's birthday. It's both my husband and my sister's husband's birthdays are the 10th and the 11th of this month. Um, so
It's going to be that because he's celebrating the birthdays on the other side, and your dad wants you to know that he's with you. But
mhm.
more importantly, he wants to apologize for everything that you had to see here in this world. Because he says to me that you all took turns, taking care of him and keeping an eye on him and trying to keep him positive. He says, and the one thing that he wants you to know is that the same way that he left this world, that he is okay now that he's on the other side because he's acknowledging now.
Oh, that's great. Is he with my mom? Is my mom coming through?
He's there with her, but it's your dad who's the strongest. Your dad because the thing is that he was not prepared to die in the way that he did.
Mhm.
And that was the tough part is that really he suffered for so long, and it was an ongoing thing and a lingering thing, and there was always something that was happening because he's telling me this, and he has been trying to reach you in the worst way to let you know that he is okay because part of the thing is that when he got sick, his personality had changed because he didn't have his legs. He couldn't walk, he couldn't do the things that he loved, and he wants you to know that on the other side that he's back to being happy and healthy and being okay. Because he's acknowledging that.
Oh, that's nice. That's good.
He's
Yeah,
also
no. Yeah.
he's also connecting me with like the lake house. What was the lake house or the beach house?
We didn't have a beach or a lake house, but he was from the beach. He was a lifeguard on the beach. He's from Long Beach, Long Island, and that's where all that's where he grew up. That's where his family home and everything as a child was. And his
Oh, perfect.
sister
Because when
and yeah.
he's with all of those people. Because he's showing me memories of like everybody being like on this house like by the water and everyone going swimming with one another and being connected with one another. So know it's your dad's way of just acknowledging that he's with everybody that's there.
Oh,
And I
that's
keep
great.
also hearing the name Steven. Is this Steven?
Stephen, the Stephen that I think is my mom, her brother, he had Down syndrome and he died. He lived very long for having that. He was like probably in his 60s when he passed. And it's interesting that you say that because right when my mom passed, I had a psychic tell me that she was greeted by her parents and a 7-year-old boy. And I remember thinking, what 7-year-old boy? And then I thought, I bet it's Steven because mentally he remained at 7. And
Yeah,
so,
because your mom and dad are both here, and I kept hearing, "Steven's here, Steven's here, tell her Steven's here."
oh, that's
So
so
no, it's there.
sweet because, that was
Are you, like,
so
freaked out right now?
I mean, I think it's so sweet because, my mom would tell me that she had this brother and back then, it wasn't really if you had a child that had issues, they would put them in the home. You wouldn't have them in your own house. And she told me when they took her brother to the home, she was like hanging on to him and saying like, "I'll take care of him. I'll take care of him." And and then he went to this home and then one of the, a couple years before he died, my dad said, "Let's go visit Steven at the home in Wisconsin," which we live in Los Angeles. And so they got to see him and visit him. And he did really well at in this group home throughout his life. Like he lived a nice, happy, safe, clean life. But I think that was nice for my mom because I think she carried a lot of, like, guilt about not being able to keep in touch with him all those years because of his mental capabilities and the far distance that he lived.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, the thing was is that they were very connected to him here in this world and, nervous about him. So the fact that they're on the other side with him is so amazing. And I love that because, to me, when I connect with souls and I connect with family members, I love to see how everyone's back together. And like everyone that we've ever lost and everyone that we've ever, missed is there and waiting for us.
Mhm.
Even our pets make it.
Oh, that's nice. So, so is my mom saying anything or doing
Well, she's
anything?
like I said, they kept saying to me that Steven was here. So that's just her way of acknowledging that. So is that your brother or her
That
brother?
would be her brother, her only brother.
Perfect. So
Yeah.
no, it's her way of just acknowledging that she is back with him. She's telling me when I'm connecting with her that this was a hard thing for you to go through when I'm speaking to her. She keeps whispering because a lot of times I'll hear them and they'll like whisper in my ear, and I keep hearing that there were questions over surgery. And she's bringing that up when I'm speaking to her, and she says to me that there was a lot that she kept hidden with her illness, so she didn't tell you what was actually going on or what was happening.
Mm.
So did you not know everything that was going on with her?
Well, I know that she was starting to have early Alzheimer's, which she tried to hide, but we were becoming aware of it. And then she broke her ankle, and unbeknownst to us, she had a blood clot and died very suddenly with my sister Shannon, who was with her. And there was some,
Because of the ankle?
yes, and it was like a real
That's
shock
so
and a
crazy.
surprise. And
Is that with the surgery? Because she kept telling me there was questions over surgery, her going in for surgery.
no, I mean, she really never had. That's what was so shocking is because it was always my dad that had like so many bouts in the hospital. And with her, I mean, I really don't think she'd been in the hospital since I was born, and then she died in a
Mhm.
hospital. So I don't know about the surgery thing. Maybe she was maybe I know they tried to save her at that hospital and couldn't, and it was very shocking for me to find out that she had passed. Like, and it was really, really hard for my sister Shannon who was there.
Well, it was hard for your mom too, but like I said, she was not feeling well beforehand because she's telling me this.
Oh,
So, even though she didn't go to the doctors, like I'm talking about with the whole blood, with the whole clot and everything that she was dealing with,
yeah.
she says to me that she wasn't feeling well before. And she says to me that it was the hardest thing that she had to go through because your mom was afraid. She talks about being afraid of surgery and afraid of going in, and there was all of these different things that went around it. So even though you feel like her passing was very rushed, she's acknowledging and letting you know that she was afraid to tell all of you because she didn't want everyone to get nervous.
Mhm. Yeah, I
And
mean,
she's bringing that through because she kept telling me um, about her going in and masking some of her symptoms and masking some of the things that she was feeling.
yeah, I can see that for sure.
But
Yeah.
she is with you every day, and like I says, it's so amazing that she's with her brother because she says to me, "I was not expecting to see him there." And your
Mhm.
mom tells me that when she passed on and when she went to the other side and her brother was there, that's how she knew that heaven was real, and that's how she knew that there was an afterlife.